So this is the Gideon Optics Guardian 1 to 10 LPVO. And this was also Gideon Optics' first LPVO. And it's still one of my favorite optics that I've reviewed on the channel. Now the 1 to 10 was the second focal plane, and people were asking for a first focal plane LPVO. So Gideon Optics came out with another Guardian that was 1 to 8, but it was first focal plane. And shortly after that, they released another 1 to 8 with the second focal plane, like the 1 to 10. Now, even though I really like these Guardian LPVOs, I have one big issue with them, and it's not just the Gideon Optics ones, it's all LPVOs. And that's the illuminated reticle. Even with the brightness level maxed out, they're just never bright enough for daytime use. Well, now we have the new Guardian 1 to 6 second focal plane LPVO. And they made a very big change with this optic. So let's head over to the other bench, get this out of the box, and check it out. Alright, we're over on the other bench, and we're just going to take a quick look at this optic before we head out to the range. Now, I am going to bring a picture up on the screen and show you everything that comes in the box. Now, like I said earlier, this is a 1 to 6 by 24 second focal plane LPVO. It does have a 30 millimeter tube, and it does come with flip-up caps, which I'm just not a fan of flip-up caps on an LPVO, so these are going to come off. Now, as far as all the specs go on this optic, I'm going to bring those up on the screen, and you can pause it and check it out. Now, as far as your lighted reticle goes, you can get this in red or green. This one has the green reticle. Now, this runs on a CR2032 battery, and to access the battery, you just unscrew this cap right here, and that will give you access to your battery. Now, this has 12 brightness settings, and to cycle through those brightness levels, you just use the knob right here. Now, this has a very nice positive stop in between each brightness setting, and you do not have to go all the way around like you do on some LPVOs. So if you're on brightness level 12, and you want to go back to 1, there's off, and there's 1. Now, the turrets on this are not exposed turrets. You do have caps over your turrets. And these are 1/4 MOA per click. You've got your up with an arrow, very easy to see. And once you get this dialed in right where you want it, you can take a flathead screwdriver, remove that screw, pull your cap off, put it back on 0, and get it set right where you want it. Now, as far as the clicks go, very tactile and audible. You got a nice positive stop in between each click, and you have the exact same thing on your windage. Now, here on the back of the optic, you do have an adjustable diopter, and it is very smooth. No grittiness, no grinding. Very nice adjustable diopter. Now, to adjust your magnification, same thing with this. Very smooth, no grinding, no grittiness. And it does come with the throw lever. And if you don't like the throw lever, you can unscrew that and take it off. Now the reticle on this is very basic, and that's exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to an LPVO. And the reason I bring that up is because in the intro, I told you that they did a major change on this optic over their last 3 LPVOs. And that's because this doesn't just have an illuminated reticle, it's got a fiber reticle. And when we get out to the range, I'm going to show you a lot of pictures through the optic. And what that fiber reticle does, just the center dot in the center of the reticle lights up green on this optic, or if you choose to go with the red, it lights up red. And basically what that means is it's going to give us daytime brightness on that dot when we get out to the range. Now I've already had it outside in the bright sunlight, and we got a lot of snow on the ground, which is making it even brighter. And I turned this thing on 12, and it's almost just like looking at one of Gideon Optics green dots. Now if you noticed in the picture of everything that comes in the box that this does not come with a mount. Now if you have a favorite 30mm mount that you want to use, you can obviously use it with this optic. But if you want to get everything off the Gideon Optics website, they do offer the Guardian mount. It does come with a Torx wrench, you've got another Torx wrench, and you have your mount. And as far as this mount goes, this is what I'm using on all my Gideon Optics LPVOs. Alright, I'm going to go get this mounted up on the rifle we're going to be testing this on, and I will see you out at the range. So the first thing I had to do when I got to the range was get this optic sighted in. Now I put a 35-yard zero on it because all the shooting I was doing on day 1 was going to be in the competition bay, and the max distance inside the competition bay is 50 yards. Now while I was getting this sighted in, I could already tell I was going to really like this LPVO. Now the Guardian is the second optic that I've tested on this channel that has that fiber dot reticle, and it is an absolute game changer when you're looking for a daylight bright dot on an LPVO. Most of the time when I'm shooting or doing a review on an LPVO, I'm always doing it in the competition bay, and the optic pretty much stays on 1x that entire time. And once I got my eye relief and my diopter set on this optic, it was just as natural to me as using a red dot or a prism optic on an AR or an AR style rifle like our Daria TM22 Flash. Now a lot of people are probably saying right now, well, why use an LPVO if you're always going to be using it on 1x and just use a red dot or a 1x prism? Well, the answer to that question is because when I do go over to the rifle range or I want to shoot targets at distance, I like having that option to use magnification if I need it. But the biggest downside to most LPVOs is that they don't have a fiber dot reticle. They just have an illuminated reticle, and the reticle illumination is never bright enough on a bright sunny day. In fact, it's pretty much useless on most LPVOs. But that is not the case with this 1:6 Guardian, because when you turn this fiber dot on the brightest setting of 12, this is just like using a red dot or a green dot that you are used to on a pistol or one of your rifles. The other thing that I really like about this optic is the fact that it's second focal plane. And I've said this time and time again. I like first focal plane on a 5-25 or a 6-24. But when it comes to a 1:6 or a 1:8, even a 1:10 LPVO, I just prefer second focal plane. And the reason I say that is because when you have a first focal plane LPVO on 1 power, the center of your reticle, or your dot in the center of the reticle, is so small, it's pretty much useless. Now, if you're running your LPVOs on higher magnification for the most part, say you're running it on 5 power or 6 power with this, well then maybe first focal plane is going to work better for you. But with me, I would say 70-75% of the time, I'm just running my LPVOs on 1x, and second focal plane works out a lot better for me at that magnification. Now, if you're kind of new to firearms and firearm optics and you're sitting there saying, well, I don't even know what first focal plane or second focal plane is, the easiest way to describe it is first focal plane optics, when they're on 1 power, the reticle is very small. When you start using your magnification, the reticle is going to get bigger as you zoom in. With a second focal plane optic like this, your reticle is always going to be the same size throughout the whole magnification range. So now let's talk about the glass quality on this Guardian. And the glass quality on this is very good and usable. And it's usable all the way up to 6 power. When I was over on the rifle range shooting at 100 yards, I was running this on 6 power the whole time, and I wasn't getting any distortion. I wasn't losing my eye box. I was quite impressed with this, especially at the price point. So let's get into the pros and cons with this optic. Now, my only con with this is I really wish they had this in a 1:8 and a 1:10 as well as this 1:6. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, I love my Guardian 1:10, but the illuminated reticle in that is not all that bright, where if I had this fiber dot reticle in that optic, that would make almost the perfect LPVO for what I'm looking for. Now, as far as pros go, I got quite a few with this optic. One is the price. At first, I thought $299 was a little high for a 1:6 LPVO, but after seeing the fiber dot reticle, I completely changed my mind on that. The second pro with this, I really like the turrets on this. They're very tactile, very audible, and when I would move back and forth from the competition bay over to the rifle range, I was messing with my zero the entire time. And one super cool feature with this is once you get these set right where you want them, they are a resettable turret. You can take a flathead screwdriver or a coin, remove that screw in the top of the turret, and put it right back on zero, and then reinstall your screw. And you have that same option on the windage. Another pro with this optic is your zoom for your magnification. It is very nice and smooth. It's not gritty. It's not grinding. I'm really happy with the magnification adjustment and the added bonus of they supply a throw lever. I love having a throw lever on my LPVO. But if you don't like having a throw lever on your LPVO, well, you're in luck because it's removable. And the next pro with this is the adjustable diopter. It is just as smooth as the magnification on this optic. They just did a fine job again with this Guardian series of optics. So I really want to thank Gideon Optics for sending this out to the channel. I think I might be ruined now when it comes to LPVOs with this fiber dot reticle system. I absolutely love it. The one in this is great, especially since it's green, because I much prefer green dot over a red dot. And I just put another video out on another LPVO that's using the fiber dot, and I was blown away by it when I got it to the range as well. I hope this ends up being the new standard for LPVOs, is to use this fiber dot reticle, but I doubt it will be. I hope more companies give us the option in the future, but I know a lot of people are going to want an entire complete illuminated reticle, so we'll just have to see how that goes. But I think once people try a fiber dot reticle, they're going to really like it. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.